So, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Pablo Esteban Sánchez Rijlaarsdam. I'm a Mexican-Dutch painter. I also like making music, I do poetry, I'm into photography. But the thing I spend most of my time on right now is painting.
Fantastic. And how long ago did you start painting?
Well, I started painting in 2011, but I've always been drawing. Since I was little, I was always drawing in my books and everything. But it became a passion in late 2011 when I went to Tate Modern and I saw a Jackson Pollock painting. I believe it was called Summertime 9A or something. But when I saw this painting, I realized what could be done with painting. A world opened inside and I wanted to, to imitate what Jackson Pollock was doing, which was basically expressing himself through action.
So it's like a trigger point.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. And what about in terms of the style you started with? Is it really different to the style you develop now?
Well, when I started copying Jackson Pollock. I started to drip and throw enamel paint around. Then the work transformed into something like Basquiat. And since I didn't want to be a Basquiat clone, I started to experiment with color, with typography, and with texture, adding objects to the canvas. I was trying to find a style of my own. From there on, the work evolved into I gave it a more classical approach. I started to look at composition, at human form, and at the proper use of painting techniques.
And does that lead you into the process of actually creating paintings? What is that process for you?
Well, the process behind creating a painting is different every time. Just like the style has developed, so has the process behind creating one of the works. For instance, when I first started, I used to start from scratch, just throw paint on a canvas and from there create an image on the spot. I thought it was more honest. But then I gave sketching a chance. I started to fill out entire sketchbooks before even starting a painting, and I realized the idea changes while you're sketching. So what you have in mind at first comes out very different at the end. And those are two different examples of how the process has a stake at the end result, which is the completion of a painting.
Cool. Well, why paint?
Well, I think just because of the sheer joy of painting, the sheer joy of putting an idea on canvas. It's just like wanting to hear a song you have in your head, but with an image.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thrill you get from looking at a painting.
And is that all a process of storytelling, or what is the piece behind, what is the thinking behind why you create?
Well, it varies. Sometimes you want to tell a story, sometimes you want to keep it to yourself, like a form of catharsis. Art is a very difficult thing to pinpoint because it's freedom, and you can grasp freedom. It's always on the move, it's always changing, always evolving. But the main feeling to me is expression and creation.
And you said you do music and poetry as well. What is the link for you between, or relationship that you have between your music and painting?
Well, the link between poetry and music is very easy because it's in the lyrics. But we don't tend to think that there's a relation between music and painting. But there is. For instance, if you want to write a song, if you know the feeling you want to communicate, well, you may go for a gospel kind of sound, you may go for a blues or rock driven rhythm. In painting it's the same thing. If you want to show speed, if you want to show energy, you may go for an aggressive type of expressionism. If you want to go for storytelling, you want to show detail, you may go for a ballad style type of painting.
And what actually makes a great creation? What's a great end product? What's a good end result?
I think the good end result is the one that communicates to people. So that's what I look for at an exhibition. I'm searching for people's reactions, people's opinions to the works. Because at every exhibition there's one or two paintings that will attract the public. Those are the good works. And an artist doesn't necessarily have control over this. It's about capturing the moment. It's about communicating a feeling in the now. Because sometimes when we're painting, we're living ahead of our time, sometimes we're even living in the past. But when you capture the same intensity of the moment and you can translate it to people now, well, that's when the painting becomes universal. That's when the feeling transcends.
And tell us about your latest painting.
Yes, this is my latest painting. It's called Visiones de Oaxaca 4. So that's Visions of Oaxaca 4. It's part of a series I've been doing since I arrived here in Oaxaca. And it's about my experiences. So there's friends, family, there's different stories and emotions all on the canvas. This one, I took the Snakes and Ladders game, and I like to play with it like the game of life, the game of my life. For this period between Visiones de Oaxaca 3 and 5.
Very cool, very cool. Okay. Is there a main theme across all your paintings, or how does it vary, or how has it varied?
Well, the main theme in all of my paintings, if I think about it, it's always duality. So there's always like a fascination for duality, for life, for death, night and day, good and evil. There's always this constant battle. It may be because I'm from two very different cultures. And that gives you the chance to sometimes step outside and look at it from a distance and see the strange differences.
Cool. And who or what influences your work?
Well, my influences are the experiences I live every day, and of course the people in my life, my wife, my friends, my family. Each special moment that goes into the mind and stays there could be a painting on itself. So for instance, take this painting. Each square has a story, each square has a theme, so each square could be a separate individual work. And that's how I take inspiration from everything that happens in my life and turn it into some kind of element for my work.
And what is the meaning of art? Why does it exist?
Well, art is important because it's necessary. It's like spirituality or love. It's an energy, a powerful living force. And I think this is why art matters, because it's essential to us as human beings.
And what do you look for in other people's creativity? What catches your eye?
What I'm looking for in other people's work is for it to be unique. I want it to have a style of its own. A visual language that's different from all the rest. And of course, I'm looking for honesty and integrity.
And what does the future hold for you? What are your plans?
Well, I just like to keep on doing what I'm doing right now, but I'd like to broaden my horizons on other art fields. I would like to expand the music side, the poetry side, do some more photography or animation, maybe some film. So there's tons of ideas in my head, but there's not enough time just to work on them all.
Cool.